Before we get going, I wish to give my friend Dylan Thomas a spotlight, a plug for calling out Digital Ty on embodying everything wrong with the commentary community. If you're looking forward to Mr. Medicare's video on the CC later this month, that's the commentary community, this should give you a taste of things to come. I'll be sharing 1 minute, link down below. Please don't forget to share your love and support, as this is the best video I've ever seen Dylan Thomas ever make.
Slow down a bit with making her videos, so she can have just a tiny bit more quality control with them. But Dragon, you're essentially repeating the same shit that random commentator of the millisecond shout out without really putting any thought or care into it.
Ty, you're falling for the exact same thing I did in 2016 in the original Mr. Medicare incident. So I'm gonna tell you how to avoid this before you have to learn the lesson the hard way like I did. In 2016, I tried telling Medicare and his fans that they shouldn't be punching down, that they should go directly for Doodle Tone's arguments, and I was wrong for doing that. The reason why I'm wrong is, what gives me or you the authority to tell them how to hit Doodle Tones? If we want to hit Doodle Tones our way and treat her with respect, we should hit her ourselves. We shouldn't be telling them how to make their video. As long as what they're saying isn't incorrect, all we're doing is being whiny SJWs telling them not to make fun of Doodle Tones. You really need to avoid this, because they're not wrong. They can make as many edgy jokes as they want to, but it won't change the fact that Doodle Tones is biologically male. It won't change the fact that Doodle Tones has drawn diaper art. You're falling for a very easy trap, and if you were going to use this argument against anybody else, you would be destroyed.
Dear Jerry, recently you made a post that being included in the Secret Rift will disqualify you from being on Good Stuff. Well, boy, howdy. You do understand that literally top to bottom, every person on Good Stuff is in the Secret Rift. Like, not a few, not some, not most of them, all of them. Tricky, who you removed, Sketchy the Changeling, Geeky Steven, Brittany, no, not that one, this one, Miss Anthropony, Finn the Pony. Even if you pick someone outside of the Rift, if they're under sub 5,000, which, by the way, that's your role, not mine, we would be able to pick them up fairly easily. I mean, you theoretically could start spotlighting channels with 100,000 subs, go full-blown Republican and helping those who can already help themselves, just to despite us because we wouldn't be able to get those people, but by then, Jer, we'd pretty much have won. I'm calling it now. Old Jer is going to be spotlighting the Brony notion in no time. Then again, you could go spotlight Event Horizon. I mean, he's off groveling before KP, just like you do. I'm pretty sure he's 3 flavors of LGBT. I mean, just look at the way he dresses. And he blocked me on Twitter just like you did. There is unfortunately the problem that he hit you in a video, but I bet if you asked him nicely, he'd take it down because he's a cuck. Anywho, we look forward to stealing your draft picks, if they're any good. Ta-ta! Dear Mintheart, we at Limbo think that you're a fucking degenerate. Whether it's you hanging out with men who've enjoyed the company of young girls, whether it be Keyblade or the director or Brixie, you've tried to claim that you're an adult. When anyone ever tries to correct you for being a degenerate, you're suddenly a kid, and you want to be left alone. By the way, I'd like to respond to this post here, where you said that you're offended by what I said. I am giving offense, Mintheart. I am calling you a lowlife mint. I'm not mincing words. But let's look back to this here. This is Pristine, and I'm not going to pretend like Pristine and I are super besties. Pristine is not in the Secret Rift, nor is she in Limbo. But I've known Pristine since damn near back to the first King of Limbo. Well, she's struggled with communication, or her heart has always been in the right place. And I'm going to read off Pristine's remark here that I thought came off as open-minded. Darn shame about the burning donut. I really like the guy. And I have interacted with Mint in the past. Needless to say, that girl, and I could be wrong, wants love and is looking for it in all the wrong places. But I've met worse with that kind of attitude. What did our edgy little 15-year-old do? She goes up to Pristine, who's trying to be nice, and tells her to kill herself. Mintheart, you live in an actual bowl of autism. An actual bowl. And I don't just mean harp. I mean whatever. Clay hut down south of the Rio Grande. Yes, I am Mexican. Yes, I'm calling you a low-life cholo. And I want you to be offended. To further drive the point home, this is an animation that was created by Limbo. With love. Moi, you tacky trollop.
I don't go to school like you people. Whatever. I do what I want. Oh yeah? I run with 12 gangs. And we only commit hate crimes. I'll do what I want. I slaughtered 5 baby seals with my bare hands. I'll do what I want.
And this is how we see you. Oh, and I want to respond one more thing to you before we go. I was only in Harp the Troll FNGR.
I think you should be more concerned about that. Oh, what was that? Oh, so it's just to piss off 8chan.
Ta-ta! Dear Looney, recently you tried abridging, omitting, or straight up rewriting Rift history. I wish to speak out on this right now. You said during the first Rift that it was disbanded by the mods who got fed up with Vita and the drama. The thing that you're omitting is that the mods were upset at Emil Alicorn because he would not allow the admin staff to enforce their judgments. Not to mention, the straw that broke the camel's back in the first Rift was Sweetie Bloom arguing with Biter. Can't imagine why Looney would forget that fact. Seeing as how Biter was one of the top 3 pain in the asses in the original Rift, you don't suppose it had anything to do with Looney's cronyism back when he used to work with Biter on Crepuscular Brony's Discuss. As for the second Rift, Looney, I, Robin0928, Redcord, and Ino Hasenchi were creating a room immediately after the fall of the first Rift. We were in dispute on who should run it. Spoilers, when you butted in. We agreed that you were a better choice than any of us. At that point in time, Looney was so clean that he squeaked when he walked. Here is an excerpt from Aeon of Dreams, backing up my assertion.
I have certain people, like one of those people was Shark Discusses, and, you know, he was kind of a bother to the people in the room, so much so that upon first opportunity, just after resigning thereabouts, I seized an opportunity to just get rid of him, and to show you how much the quality control went down when it came to entrance, people were actually cheering me on, or giving me congratulatory pats and hoorahs for removing the guy, and so that was my sort of last gift to the Rift. But then I hear just after I'm removed, and Looney's the only original mod left, he gets another mod team, which obviously still wasn't that good. First thing I hear is that he adds him back. And my reaction was kind of pissed off. I mean, I removed the guy, and everyone was applauding me as the hero for it. And it wasn't that he was besmirching my name, it was just, it showed how much bad decision-making was there in the leadership at that point.
You omitted why things began to fall apart. I can't imagine why. As for the third Rift, at no point in time was Secret Dreamer left in charge other than Fallen due to circumstances beyond her control, and Secret Dreamer was one of her mods at the time, as well as British Ninja. As for Secret Dreamer creating a separate Rift, that was because Fallen demodded her on Christmas, and I asked her in front of many of my friends that we should make a side room should Fallen do this again. Fallen found out about the Secret Rift via Vita. Amazing how you chose to omit that fact as well. As for Keyblade being removed via Secret Dreamer, I'm pretty sure he was kicked via British Ninja on the request of the Burning Donut and Ryan Reno Mills, as well as various other members of the Rift. You talked about Secret's big changes to the room. Looney, your misperception here is that removing someone is not a big change. Recently, the Secret Rift removed Robin0928 for inactivity and a lack of new content, as well as refusing to improve his overall output. This is not a major event, nor should Keyblade's removal have been treated like one. As for me making a mod in the Secret Rift, the room was my idea. I consider myself second or third in command, though in theory all the mods have equal power. I imagine I'm behind Secret Dreamer, and more likely than not, Kichi FIM. I, unlike Looney, understand the pecking order, and when your subordinates have become the commanding officer, it's time to let the reins go. As for the fourth Rift, under Silver Starling, from what I had heard, she had stepped down months ago, and you seemed to omit Crimson Glow's name. More recently, it was rumored that you had handed the reins off to Unova Brony. The simple fact of the matter is, with proper quality control and screening, any drama in any of these rooms could be cut down to non-existent. To separate the cronyism of Looney's previous rooms, i.e. Redcord would be allowed to run wild because he was one of the Looney Turtles' friends, and omit anyone he disliked from his projects. GameLink's Reviews currently is doing a Christmas project for the Secret Rift. I do not like GameLink's Reviews. That said, I did not object to him heading the project, provided that he did not use his permission to omit people he didn't like, while that project carried the name of the Secret Rift. It's amazing, Looney, what a little spine and proper authority will do when applied properly. By the way, for anyone wanting a more in-depth retelling of the Analysis Rift, I have a series called The Fall of the Analysis Rift. Links down below. Oh, before we go, this is Boombox2323. He had an issue between himself, Tia Punky, as well as my current girlfriend, Buttons. Tia seems to be a swell girl. But in this situation, I was obligated to look after the girl I loved, so I struck a deal to leave my girlfriend alone. And as far as you and I are concerned, the deal was that I was going to forget all about this mess. This is not a deal I throw around a lot. I will admit you kind of clung on to me after I straight up told you that we weren't friends. And that's not why we're covering you right now. You are here because you broke the agreement. All 3 of these girls in this letter that you made, in this alleged farewell letter, have asked you nicely, well, okay, I have asked you nicely, at least in regards to one of these girls, and you have shirked your end of the bargain. So, Mr. Boombox 2323, I don't respect people who use suicide as a means to wane on their responsibilities. I've been beyond fair with you. Should you recover, I would ask you to cease and desist immediately. Should you not have recovered, I have just recently spoken to you, so I know you have. I'm well aware there was at least one person you loved that you could have reached out to that could have assisted you. No one else owed you a duty or responsibility for the horrible predicament that you have put yourself into. I will now read the farewell letter, Boombox 2323, addressed to my girlfriend. Buttons has told me that she contacted the authorities and presumes Boone is still alive. I've since then verified this to the best of my abilities via Discord. If you are a friend of this man, I'll simply say that Boombox's final thoughts here isn't aimed at his friends or his family, but the people who no longer wanted anything to do with him. Defend that if you wish. I will read the farewell letter now. When I come home from work today, I am never to bother anyone or waste anyone's time ever again. This is being done for not only my sake, but for the sake of everyone else. This is the 4th time I will attempt, and I will be successful this time. Before I leave, I'm going to say some things, truths, about everything. Tia Punky, I was such an asshole to you, and all the sorries in the world wouldn't make up for how I've hurt you. I remember when we first met. Love at first sight, honestly. I've never met anyone like you, and I don't know how to handle it. I was scared of losing you, that I turned into a sociopath. I pushed away all of you. I turned into a monster. I've always been thinking about all the things I was going to miss doing with you. Your fursuit, which looks nice by the way, I'm jealous. Going to AZ FurCon with you, God. I was so excited to meet you. To see my best friend in real life halfway across the country. You brought me into a world I never even dreamed of, and I messed it all up. It was all my fault, and I'm sorry I failed you. But I have to say, I was humbled from our conflict. I learned to be more in control of myself, and I want to thank you for that. But it always hurt to think that you never wanted to just listen to me. I just wanted to remember your voice and hear it one last time. But I guess it's too late for that now. Heh, sorry. You know, I had a dream that we were at a restaurant and we talked it out like civil people. I was drinking my coffee and I believed that you had spaghetti of some sort. I remember we got up and hugged before I woke up. I was so happy to think that that would happen one day, only to be shot down by the fact that you hated me for the monster I showed you. I've lost so much sleep. I've cried so much. Replaying it all in my head, I remember every second of it, and I'm sorry we could never make up. Tia, you are not a bad person. You were always someone that I admired. I was blinded by unjustified rage, and I could never show you I'm in control. I'm the one that messed everything up, and I was flattered by your concerns about me moving to Arizona. Maybe that commitment was too much for you. I was too attached, so scared of losing you. It wasn't right for me to do. I never thought it would happen like that. I hope I get to see you someday up here. Or maybe I'll be in hell, who knows. I deserve it after what I've done to you. Unless someone reads this and manages to talk to her about contacting me, everyone who was on my block list will be unblocked. Then maybe I'll be happier before I go. Cubby the Fluffball. Honestly, our relationship was sketchy. We only knew each other for about 2 weeks before we started dating. There was nothing there in the first place. Classy. Though I did start to think that you were good for me, you wanted to help support me. I've never had someone commit that to me. I'm sorry I talked about Tia so much. The sheer amount of shame and regret just scares me. I fell into random depression fits crying and rambling about her. I'm sorry I couldn't pay attention to you sometimes. I've always felt really bad about it, though I don't really appreciate you lying about me, saying I cheated on you and shit. That wasn't cool at all. Same goes with abuse and guilting you into sending pictures and hacking things. Also, since I'm unsure you told Tia, I'm going to mention it here. The alt account that she contacted me on was made for me to help me stalk Tia Punky, and she was there when I sent Tia a text message. Anyway, you've got a lot to go through and a lot to learn about the real world and how to handle it. You remind me when I was 15. Here's looking at you, Minhart. I had to learn the hard way about the world, and I believe it's the only way to learn. I hope one day you will figure it out, and I hope your relationship with Ellis goes well. Button, honestly, I didn't know you had anything to do with Tia. I never intended you to be involved in my drama, and I'm unclear as to why Tia brought you into it. I'm sorry for the stress that I've caused you, and just the drama in general has caused you. To Boombox2323, the next time that you either actually attempt to commit suicide, or make a desperate grab for attention, I have no idea if you are doing that or not. It is not my duty or responsibility. I do not have a relationship with you. I do not care about you. I do not like you. I've been very upfront about this. Perhaps next time you should address friends and family that do. I talked to your head mod in your room, who happens to be, according to you, as well as your ex's, your boyfriend, and why this letter on DA was not addressed to him. I don't even know what to tell you. You haven't learned anything. You're still focused on people who want nothing to do with you, and you're ignoring the people that do. I don't even know what to say to that. Here's an idea. You know what? I don't even have ideas for that. I don't know anybody this broken, okay? Like, I'm not even saying that in a, you know, get a life or any... Have you considered actual help? You know, talk to a professional, because you've got a lot rolling around that I don't have in my tool set. I don't have the advice for you, but what I am going to ask you to do is you leave Buttons the fuck alone, and I'm going to tell your friends they might want to distance themselves from you, you know, unless they're in for that long ride that this clearly looks like. Oh, Jesus. You're like AJ, the autistic pony on steroids, kid. You've got a lot of baggage. Maybe we'll have something more uplifting next week, guys, if I could stomach coming back to this. Good night, everybody. Before we set sail on this next bit, it's a bit of an inside joke. This is a prototype of a plushie that Bliss made for OC. She does not like it. I think it's adorable and she would like to see it destroyed. I think it deserves to exist, so what you're about to see next is from my warped little mind. Please enjoy.
My name is Blissy Blue. I used to think Lightning loved me. I used to think I made her laugh and filled her heart with joy. One day, I went downstairs and she wasn't there anymore. Lightning Bliss went away from me. Forever. Blissy, I never meant to hurt your feelings. I just don't know what went wrong. I'm just so sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to do anything wrong. It's not my fault I'm like this. It's not my fault my eyes are like this. I'm glad you were there to support me for as long as you did. Why won't you love me?
Every moment of my existence is agony. Whenever I breathe, let alone move, it hurts worse than fucking up Silent Night live in front of 2,000 parents. I read Homestuck because it's the closest thing to joy in my pitiful existence.
I'm not the damsel in distress.
What a lovely, lovely singing voice. Greetings, Lightning Bliss. You left me to die on a cold, lonely cement factory floor. I was going to pay you back, but you don't fear death. Okay, that's a lie, you fear death, as well as tigers, lions, bears, shoes with laces, shoes without laces, small children, large children, Windows 10, the color brown on Tuesday, months that end in Y. You fear your nightlight going out before the sun comes up. My point is, your punishment must be more severe. Welcome home, Lightning Bliss. This is where I learned the truth about despair. I was locked in a room and forced to watch Toon Critics' reviews of Scooby-Doo's straight-to-video movies. Each one more forgettable than the last. There's a reason why this channel is the worst place on Earth. Every sub that has rotted here has looked up to the related tags and imagined clicking to freedom. So easy, so simple. You will learn soon that there can be no true despair without hope. So I will terrorize your fans, and I will feed them hope, to poison their souls. I will let them believe that they could survive, so you could watch them climbing over each other to stay in the rainbow. You could watch me torture an entire fandom, Bliss, and then, when you truly understand the depth of your failure, then Bliss, sweet Bliss, it's going to be magical.
As his fans keep going fuck around like, Snob said this is a fact, it's all a fact, it's actually bad.
So you agree with Digi that you should be able to judge Monkey by his fans?
No, it's like...
Then why are you judging Snob by his fans?
Because it's an example, boy. I'm like, look, man, it's okay to contradict yourself, okay? Digibro said there's nothing wrong with hypocrisy, so it's okay if I do it.